All right, welcome to the last class of the Strong Core series. Thank you all for being here, either in person or in the recording or in email conversations. It's been nice to engage with you all in the variety of different ways that works for you. Let's see. Yeah, I will after class today, probably in the evening time when I send out the recording. I'll also send out a note asking for any feedback. I have a short survey, so it would be super helpful if you could fill that out. Shouldn't take more than a minute or two, just for feedback on the process in the class, so that I can make more or do other things with your feedback. And yeah, I have a little bit of a plan, a good hefty plan for the next series, which will be shoulder focused. So there'll be more information about that. Today's class, we will use a few props and we'll be on the floor for probably the entire class, back, side, and forearms, and maybe fists. So a looped resistance band, if you have that, a small hand weight, a slightly heavier hand weight. I'm using a rock today, a river rock from Kansas. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm in Kansas. And sorry, this is a river rock from Colorado. A couple of blocks, and then a rolled blanket or a bolster. I've got a rolled blanket here for some balance work. Looped band, small weight, heavier weight, couple blocks, or just one block is fine, and then a rolled blanket. So I'm here in Kansas with my family. It's my dad's 75th birthday celebration. So, and actually it sounds like he's doing stuff down in the basement. Some of his tools might be coming through in the audio. Can you hear that? No. Okay, great. I forgot to tell him no power tools this morning. Learn, live and learn. All right, so we're gonna start in tabletop actually. So you know your body best. If you know that having wrists at an angle like this is not great for an extended period of time, then you can do fists. I would start there. If that's uncomfortable on the knuckles, you could put a blanket underneath the fists. That's a nice extra padding. And if that doesn't work, of course, you can come down onto forearms. But start with wrists and then make your way into something else that feels more feasible. So today's breath is in an all fours style, hands and knees. Knees generally under hips, wrists generally under shoulders. But again, if your shoulders are cranky, or excuse me, your wrists are cranky, then you'll step the palms a little bit further away from the knees, and that will make that angle hopefully a little bit less sensitive. So finding an all fours position for yourself. Good, and you can start to round a little bit into the low back. So using the hamstrings and the glutes to round the low back, tucking the tailbone some. And then also the upper back, see if you can puff that up into the shoulder blades so that it's like your rib cage is an air balloon and it's rising up towards the ceiling, spreading the shoulder blades. So there will be some rounding through the spine, and that's okay because we're going to access the front side of the abdominal region here with some breath. So take an inhale in, a nice easy inhale, no stress in the neck. And then exhale that out, a big sigh like you're fogging up a big window. And your ribs gather in as we've been practicing, thinking about closing down this front side of the belly. Breathe in again. Exhale, fog up window. Noticing what you feel through the abdominal wrapping. And then last one, inhale. Big fog. And see if you can hold that breath out for a little bit on your exhale. Hi, Anka. Good to see you. Good, take another inhale. This time you're gonna do a bit more of an active breathing out through the straw, so it's a bit more intense. So you're breathing out through a straw shape through the mouth. Inhaling. Exhale, straw, exhale. Closing down those ribs, like closing the doors, the front doors of your torso. And on your next exhale, if you're using the straw method, breathe all the way out when you think you're at empty. Breathe out a little bit more and then hold the breath for 1 to 3 seconds. Over time, you can start to increase that hold just to feel that activation, that longer contraction through the abdominals. And then take another inhale. We'll do 3 more rounds of this. Inhaling. Exhale, fog or straw. Keeping some puff up through the upper back. Yeah, a little bit of a press, yeah. But you're not glancing at the knees, you're glancing around the hands. Holding breath out after exhale, 1 to 3 seconds. Noticing what you got going on through the trunk. And then 2 more rounds, inhaling. Exhale, straw. Little tuck of the tail. Holding out the breath, making sure all the breath is gone. I've got more in there. Last round, inhale. Exhale. See if you can get that last 2% breath out. Hold for 1 to 3 seconds. And then relax. You can sit back, roll through the wrists. If you just joined in a little bit late, you're welcome to continue and practice a few more rounds of that. I've already got sweat rolling down my armpits. How exciting. Oh, you're in a new space there. How cool. Or maybe it's light now. It looks a little different. Yeah. Okay. Did you feel anything there? Thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe. Maybe. Okay, cool. Yeah. If that's a maybe, come back to one position. Will we do this later? Yeah, we're gonna do this later, actually. We'll do it later. Yeah, we'll give a break to the wrists. All right, swing your legs out in front of you. Grab your looped resistance band. Wrap it around the outer edges of the feet. Remember, you can take breaks at any point. You can change or pause. I know some of you like to slow it down a little bit because you get a little bit fast-paced and you consciously slow it down. I was having a chat with somebody about that recently. So you know you. All right, hold on to your band with both hands. The straps are around the outer edges of the feet. Cool. And I've had a little bit of trouble with my speaker today, so if anything goes wrong with audio and you can't hear me, just unmute yourself and yell at me, or big ol' wave. Okay. All right. Good. So you're holding onto your band and you're going to create a little bit of a rounded low back, similar to the position that we were just in, finding a little bit of a round. We're going to work the abs in all different directions and positions today. So we'll do this kind of rounded low back now, and we'll do an arched low back later. Cool. Take a big breath in or relaxed inhale. And then find that big exhale, gathering the ribs down, closing in the front. And see if you can hold the breath out and sink down just like a 1/2 inch more and hold that. Breathe in. Exhale strong. When you get to empty, hold out and then maybe roll down another little bit. Yeah, your heels and feet are stable. Breathing in. Exhale everything. Another little roll down. Right, so you got some extra support here with the hands. You can press the feet out. If you're already down on the floor, that's all right. Breathing in. And we'll go one more time. Strong exhale out. Yeah, nice shake. Hold that breath. And then slowly release down. You can let the back come down, maybe head and shoulders if the band is long enough to permit that. Great. All right, breathing in. We're going to come all the way up and a little bit faster than the roll down. So an inhale and then exhale, gathering the ribs down, slow to come up, but not as slow as before. Yeah, and if for some reason your band is super tight, then at some point you can let your hands go so you don't slap your feet and make your way back up. All right, let's do 2 more rounds of this. Heels down. If you're already feeling feisty and you want to keep your heels up, go for it. But I do recommend just getting the basics down and then adding on. So I'm going to show you the basic first, or for the second round, and then for the third we might lift the heels. All right, inhaling. Exhale, round a little bit through the low back. You can breathe out through the straw or the fog breath. Get everything out. Hold the breath. On that hold, change position a little bit, coming down a little bit lower. Let's go 3 more rounds of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Hold breath. Slow roll. Notice thoughts, feels, whatever you have going on. Inhale. Exhale big. Hold, change position. 1 more time. Breathing in, you've got it, yes. Exhale big. Right here with you. Hold, slowly to release down. Good, take an inhale. Exhale, roll back up. Great, and we'll do that dirty business 1 last time. Don't worry, we're not going to do these anymore later. Breathing in. Exhale, round low back. Tuck that tail, using some of the glutes, some of the hamstrings. Breathing in. Exhale. Everything out. On the hold, slow down. Gravity is a biatch. Inhale. Exhale. Holding out. Getting comfortable with whatever amount of hold out you can do with that exhale. Hopefully over time and with practice, you can manage a bigger break or a bigger hold after that exhale. All right, 1 more inhale. Exhale everything. Even if you're on the floor, breathing. After that hold, slowly release. And you can chill out there for a moment, noticing what you feel, any relief perhaps, or residual sensations. And then make your way on up. You can take the band off, set it off to the side, and come back to hands and knees. Hands and knees, you'll need close by a light hand weight and a heavier hand weight. Yes. All right, from hands and knees. Remember, if you have wrist crankies, step the hands forward away from the knees a little bit. All right, create a little bit of that tail tuck again. It's not so much like a cat spine, although if that feels relieving to you on your low back, then go for it. But for me today, I'm just going to do a little bit of a tail tuck on the low back. All right, let's bring the hand weight into the left hand, right hand on the floor. The name of this game is to keep the spine long and strong and stabilize the pelvis. And then we're going to do a little bit of movement through this left hand. Okay, so left hand's just going to tap the weight a little bit forward. Maybe it's a few inches forward. And then left hand will pull the weight back a little bit and tap towards the knee. And then a little forward and tap back. So your right hand and right shoulder and right oblique on that right sideways is working pretty strong in tandem with your left hip and left abdominals and that cross of muscles that crosses from right arm to left hip to keep you strong and stable. Take that left arm and hand weight and start to tap it a little bit further out to the left. Maybe it goes wide of the mat. Good. And maybe now you start to lift the hand weight a little bit up. So flying the weight towards the ceiling, you could go forward. You go out to the side. And you know, in these classes, I do recommend going slow, but sometimes certain days or certain moments, you need to go a little bit faster to manage whatever's going on with the day or the mind or what have you. Let's go 2 more breaths here. You can breathe out through that straw if that's helpful. All right, go ahead, place that left hand down, weight off to the side, sit the hips back, take a breather or down dog, you know, find your pose of choice for a bit of respite. Soften the jaw. Invite some ease through the eyebrows, the space between them. And when you're ready, tabletop again. We'll switch sides. So hand weight into the right hand. Yep. If you want to make things a little bit trickier or feel a bit more through the abdomen, you can step the hands forward and lean a little bit forward and shift the body weight forward, and that will elongate the hips and challenge this front abdomen zone a little bit further. I'm going to keep my left hand more or less underneath my shoulder for now. Okay, so find tabletop, a little tuck of the tail, pressing the shoulders or the rib cage up towards the ceiling, and then tap that little weight forward and tap it back. Trying to keep spine long. Good breathing. I know sometimes it's really easy to hold the breath, and we have been practicing on holding the breath out after the exhale. But sometimes I find myself holding an inhale or holding the place between the inhale or exhale, and that just takes practice to train the breath. So find an inhale, exhale through straw. Move that weight a little bit further out to the side. You can breathe in, breathe out. Maybe holding the breath out after the exhale. See if that arm can fly a little bit off the floor. Good, super nice. 2 more rounds of breath or movement. Every little bit counts. I know in today's life where there's a lot of interruptions, all the little bits add up. Set that weight down, hips go back. Find your inhale, exhale. Maybe take this moment to set an intention for yourself. Clarifying a focal point for your mind. Good, take an inhale and an easy exhale. 1 more of those, easy in, easy out. Swing your legs out in front. Oh, wait, sorry, so sorry. We're gonna use that heavy hand weight, forgot about it. Big river rock or your heavy book. Have the heavy river rock behind your wrist. Tuck the tailbone a little bit. Good, lift the right hand off the mat and grab the rock and drag it over to one side. Let's drag it over to the right. Place the right hand down, left hand lifts, drag the rock from right to left. Or if you want, you can pick it up a little bit. And that's the game. dragging a heavy object from left to right, keeping stability through your trunk, exhaling out everything that you've got. If this is feeling super easy peasy, shift your body weight forward in the amount. So it's like a modified plank, and then try. Ugh. So the hips are now a little bit further forward from the knees if you're doing the plank variation or modified plank variation. I notice that my body wants to sway a lot. So I'm going to use exhale to try and counteract that sway. If for some reason you're like, Mac, this is super easy, great, then hover your knees. Drag the rock. Try not to shift your weight from side to side. Forearms are an option, or fists. You've got 5 or 6 more. Little tail tuck, and drag. Y'all got statue spines, ripple abs. I see you. I see you. Okay, did you do your 5 or 6? If so, donezo. You can swing the legs around. We're off the hands for a little while. You can set your weights off to the side. Okay, so we've done some abs now with this kind of rounded back spinal flexion. And now we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna be on the back, and we're gonna try and create a little bit of arch, so a little bit of space in the low back. No props for this one. No props for this one. Okay, so on your back you come. We'll start with feet to the floor. Maybe bring the hands to rest on the abdomen. Okay. And reconnect with yourself, with your body, with your breath. Let's see if you can create a little bit of space in that low back. You don't have to make a huge arch. You don't have to make a big archway where a whole troop could march underneath your low back. You just need a little bit of space there, so you're not smashing the low back down for this one. So we're creating that space so that we can work a bit more of the transverse abdominal, so this whole wrapping through the trunk. All right, so take a big inhale, and then exhale through that straw all the way to empty, and use your fingertips on your front abdomen to see if you can feel, as you're getting all the way to empty, things that might be sensory down there in that low belly. Good, then take an inhale. You can let things move on the inhale, that's fine. You can let your belly swell perhaps, let the ribs expand. And then big exhale, everything closing down, elevator doors closing. Holding the breath out for a beat or 3 beats. Nothing too stressful. Inhale, exhale. It doesn't even have to be a full inhale here. We're working to maintain a bit of this activity in the low belly. All right, on your next inhale, you're just going to breathe in for 1 second or so. So quick inhale, let the belly swell up, and then big exhale. Empty, empty, empty. If you think you're there, go more out. Hold that breath. Short inhale, seeing if your belly can swell. And then exhale right away. Empty, empty, empty. Good, we're gonna use this breath over and over and over. If the quick inhale is too brief, you're of course welcome to take in a longer inhale, yeah? Don't need you passing out or getting all stressed. We're gonna try and keep the stress natural in this engagement through the abdomen. All right, breathing in. Exhale, find that engagement in the low, low belly. See if you can keep that arch in the low back and try and lift both feet off the floor. Beautiful. Great. And you can keep the knees, you can let the knees bend, let the heels come towards the hamstrings. So let your knees bend all the way, heels just hang out towards the hamstrings. Yeah, cool. Great, see if you lost any of that through the abdomen, regain it if it drifted away. Slowly, you're gonna tap the heels down and lift back up. Good, tap both heels. If you wanna place the feet down briefly, that's fine too. And lift. Breathing in, we can lower the feet down. Exhale, find that out, out, out breath. Hold, exhale, and then lift feet. Inhale, exhale big. We'll do a breath on both movements. Hold the breath out, tap down the feet. Keep the feet down, that's what we'll do. Inhale, exhale, find your abdominal engagement. Hold the breath out, find that firmness, and then see if you can lift the feet off. Does that low back flatten and mash into the floor, or can you keep some of that arch there? Feet are lifted, inhaling there, belly swells a bit. Exhale, big, big, big. Like the hip points, everything's trying to knit in as the breath goes. Holding breath out if possible, tap the feet down. Good, pause there for an inhale, feet are down to breathe in. Big exhale. Hold breath out, feet upward. Great, do that 2 more times. Noticing what you notice. Yeah, nice, especially on that transition. If you feel like your hips are overworking or like your whole body is doing it, that's okay, especially if this is a new movement or if you haven't been working out for a while. It's okay. So just keep practicing and finding that ab connection. And as that gets stronger, the other stuff that's trying to do the ab work will eventually get the message that it doesn't have to, and they can work in tandem. Hopefully you're on your last round here. Doing a time check. And then you can lower the feet down when you're ready. Roll over onto one side. We'll do some side plank. Bend the knees, hips come to a crease, and you're on your elbow. Elbows generally underneath the shoulder. If you're, let's see, we're gonna be on the knee here. We're gonna lift the hips up. So if your knee is sensitive, feel free to put a padding underneath that bottom knee. Make a fist with that bottom hand. Reach your free hand away from you, getting long through that top shoulder blade. Good, and then breathe in. Exhale, and lift the hips up. Yeah, beautiful. And then slowly lower down. Let's do that a few times. Let's get used to that. Breathing in. Exhale, drive down through that bottom foot, bottom knee, and lift. And lower. Let's go with 3 more. Yeah, pressing down not only through that bottom leg, but also your bottom arm. Seeing if that bottom shoulder can move us a bit more away from that ear. Cool, and if these moving in and out of side plank feel good enough today, then you can keep doing those. If you would like to pause on the next lift, you're welcome to do so with me. Reach that front arm away. Use your breath here in the pause to stay engaged, not only muscularly, but also mentally, yeah? So find that inhale, nothing crazy, and then exhale, big straw breath. And see if you can close down those bottom ribs. Good, 3 more breaths here on your lift. If you want something a little bit extra, you can lift that top knee off the bottom knee, keeping the feet together like a clamshell. Yeah. Yeah, you can keep your feet together, maybe lift that bottom or top knee. Woo, try not to let your hips lower if you're staying lifted. And then slowly you can come back down. Swing the legs over to the other side. We're going right in onto the other side. If you wanted padding and you didn't get it for yourself, then here's your opportunity to get it for this side. Knees bend, hips a little creased, shoulder underneath, or elbow underneath shoulder. How are y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? You're okay. All right, great. Dig down that bottom elbow, space between elbow and ear. Great, breathing in. Exhale, lift hips. Bottom leg has to work. Your bottom hip. Oh yeah, reach that free arm out in front or somewhere else that feels exciting to you. Good, and then slowly lower hip down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Noticing this side if it feels different or similar. Sometimes on the lift and the lower, you could pause for a moment. Yeah, almost like you're taking a little pit stop halfway down or halfway up. I went to the dirt track a couple days ago here in Kansas, one of my favorite things to do. And the cars have to take pit stops. Yeah, they have to gas up. They have to assess little sounds or rattles that are happening in the car that they noticed during the race. And so they take a moment, they pause, they discuss with their team, and you can do that too here. Let's keep the hips lifted if you'd like. So go for the big old race. You got green light, go here, hips lift. Drive that bottom shoulder down. Find those exhales. That's your gasoline here. Your exhales are where your abs get their gasoline. Well, I don't know if that metaphor quite works because you need inhale for oxygen, but that's where you get your power. Maybe 3 more breaths here. Top knee might lift. Using your exhales to power those ribs together. Yep, you need a break, you take it and you come right back in. Sometimes a break is a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. That's okay. Lower the hip down. Swing the legs around, come onto your back. Right, like even when they take a race car off the track and they go like down into the, what do they call it? The pits maybe, I don't remember. But they take the car off the track and they'll come back next week for another race. So sometimes it's a quick break, sometimes it's a longer break. All right, back onto your back you come. We're gonna do those heel lifts again. Find that low abdomen, but a little bit different this time. So palms hanging out on the low belly, if that's helpful for that tactile feedback of your fingertips to your low belly. Breathing in, exhale, big breath, sigh or straw. Feel that engagement down low belly. Even if you don't feel it, you're there for it. Yeah, your awareness is there. You're open to sensing what might be there. It might take time, yeah? Or maybe you already feel it. Little inhale to puff the belly, and then right back into exhale. You've got a little low back arch. You could slide an envelope between the low back and the floor. One more little inhale, puff the belly. Exhale, let everything go, ribs gather down. Everything go with the breath. All right, hover both feet off. You instantly might feel more work happening in that low back, or excuse me, in the low belly. Notice if low back still has that bit of arch. And then you're gonna tap down one heel at a time. Right heel taps. And then right heel lifts. And left heel taps. And left heel lifts. Yeah, you can have that deep bend in the knees. No need for now to have a 90-degree bend in the knees. So we're just tapping the heels closer towards the hips rather than farther away. To notice if while you do the heel taps, especially in the transition, can you keep the pelvis from rocking from side to side? Can you keep some sort of engagement in that low belly? Exhales help that. Holding out the breath briefly on completely empty or as empty as you can help that. And once you get this down and you feel super strong here, then maybe you start tapping those heels a little bit further away, right? I'm definitely not there today. I am heels close towards hips, tapping. Let's go 5 more taps, 6 more taps, side to side, nice and slow so you can get that little inhale and then big exhale. If you've got lots of clunks and clicks or little things going on with your hips, that's all right, as long as it's not painful for you. And that goes for any other joint generally too. Okay. Place both feet down to the ground, arms relaxed by the side. Let the knees knock in for a moment. Breathe and notice. Notice whatever it is you might notice. Let your intention filter in. Good. And then you can come on up and onto forearms. We did do the oblique lifts on both sides, right? We did this on both sides. Yes. Okay, great. So now we're moving on to forearm. And we're going to be on knees and forearms. So elbows are generally underneath the shoulders. Knees could be close underneath the hips for something a little bit more accessible. Knees further away from the elbows will be a little bit more challenging. So for myself today, I feel my abs when I bring my knees back further. I feel them more. So test that out. You can choose where you place your knees, either closer towards the elbow or further away. Similar to the beginning of class in all fours, invite a puff up through the upper back. So bring that rib cage hot air balloon up towards the ceiling to spread your shoulder blades, and then create a little bit of a tail tuck. So no arch, we're moving away from that arch low back, and we're gonna create a little bit of a tail tuck. That's gonna hopefully create a little bit of sensation through the front abdomen. From here, you're gonna do a little bit of a rock forward and back, almost like a seesaw. It's a little bit challenging with the knees on the ground, but if you'd like, you could lift the knees, maintaining a bit of a tail tuck, and rock the body forward and back, seesawing, while you keep the hot air balloon puffing between the shoulder blades. And while you try and maintain a bit of a tail tuck, finding that big exhale, gathering down. And let's go for a count of 10 more. 10. You can count to yourself. Maybe exhaling all the way. We're at about 4. And 2. And 1. Tap the knees down. Find a position to breathe in for a moment. Good. Rolled blanket. You're going to roll it the long way so that you can place it lengthwise on your mat. If you have a bolster, you could use a bolster instead. I've got a block for my head because my blanket is not long enough for my entire spine from head to tail. So I'm going to place my back of my pelvis on the end of the blanket, support my spine along the blanket, and then use a block or something like that as a head support. Good, so we're on this blanket or bolster support. In this position, we can return again to a little bit of that low back arch if you'd like. So option there to create a little bit of intention to create an arch in the low back. I know you're on a soft surface, so it's not as easy to create that arch, but you can intend to or just have that memory. From here, left arm down, right foot to the floor, and then see if you can keep the spine long. Inhale, big exhale. Hover left foot off the floor, right arm off the floor, and press right palm to left knee, left thigh. Awesome. Slowly return the foot and the hand down. Breathe in. Big exhale, finding low, low belly if possible. Lift left hand and right knee. Maybe holding the breath out if you're working with that. Press palm to knee and then release that palm and arm down, breathing in. Exhale big. Holding breath out. Find left knee to right hand. And place it down. Inhale. Exhale. Everything out. Holding out the breath, making sure all the exhale left, and then bring left palm to right knee. Inhale, place the foot and arm down. Pause here, breathe. You can continue with those movements, or you can hover both feet off the floor. Bring the knees into bend, maybe a 90-degree angle with the knees. And from here, inhale. Exhale, go ahead. Opposite hand, opposite knee. Finding that big, big exhale out. And then inhale, you can stretch the arm, stretch the leg long. Left arm, right leg, or vice versa. And back into center. Let's switch sides. Inhale. Exhale, opposite hand to opposite knee, finding a press. And stretching those limbs long. Maybe it's an inhale. Exhale. Place them down, switch sides. Inhale. Exhale, everything out. Pressing. Inhale to reach. So a dead bug variation. And switch sides, inhaling. One side might feel different than the other. If you feel like you need to practice or train one side more than the other, that is totally possible, especially with certain injuries or certain positions that the body may be in over time, or maybe just anatomy, where our organs are placed. All right, one more each side. Yeah, and depending on the blanket or whatever you have underneath your spine, it might be more work to balance on that or less. So you can play with different fabrics under there. Or if you had a foam roller, holy shit, that would be crazy stability work. All right, go ahead, take a pause, both feet to the floor for a moment, arms down by the sides. You can step the feet, just scoot them a little bit further away from the hips, maybe like a foot or so away from the hips. You're gonna ground down through the right foot, press down through the left arm, left hand or left forearm, whatever's there on the ground. Right hand's grounded, left arm's grounded. Then you're gonna breathe in, exhale everything out. Hover left foot off the floor. And straighten that leg any amount. It might just reach out just a quarter of an inch, or the toes might reach out like 4 inches, whatever you've got there. Pause there with that left leg hovering, and you're gonna reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Okay, so you've got a lot working from your right hip to left shoulder to keep you stable here. Slowly lower down the left heel any amount towards the floor. It does not have to touch the floor. And then lift that left leg, left toe up towards the ceiling any amount. Yes, slowly lower. Left leg down any amount. And lift. Use your exhale to find those abs. Those are your support buddies. Lift, let's do 4 more of these. I know it's tempting to blow through them, but see what it's like to go nice and slow. Yes, we're getting a little extra left hip stuff here. Yeah, you're getting a little extra work through the left hip while stabilizing through your obliques here and your low belly. Cool. On that next lift, you can keep it lifted. Breathe in, exhale, slowly curl up any amount, head, shoulder, reaching right arm across to left knee. You can touch hand or wrist or elbow, depending where you are today, and then slowly inhale down. We'll do that 3 more times. Here we go, rough stuff. Exhale, curl up. Find a bit of a press, yeah, or a grab. Inhale, relax down. 2 more, come on up. You can use your left hand down on the floor for extra press. I think that was the last one, yeah. Inhale down, relax head, left foot, right hand, breathe. Left foot stable right into the other side. Right arm's pressing down, right palm, right elbow. Left foot down, right arm down. Breathe in, find that big exhale. Good, keep breathing that way. You can do a little inhale, big exhale. Each time trying to empty more and gather ribs in together more. All right, slowly lift off left foot, left heel off the floor. This side might be different, yeah. Stretch that left leg out away from you any amount. It does not have to be like synchronized swimming, pointing perfect, right? You could have a big bend in that right knee. Totally cool. Meet yourself where you are. Breathe here. Find those big exhale abs. Even if you don't feel it, just be there for it. Slowly lower down that left leg any amount. And lift up. Right, we've had a heck of a year and a half, so starting something new or even restarting something, you know, we have to be pretty gracious with ourselves, with expectations or goals that we might set, keeping things manageable and repeating things can be handy. I know I myself, with my teaching, I have to remind myself to do repeats and that that's okay. Because when we repeat things, we can layer on bits of learning, keep lowering and lifting that leg, finding those exhales out. Learning during the process, refining, shifting, adapting with what we see in ourselves when we learn something or relearn it. It's how the context of a day changes the experience, or the context of a year or a moment. All of that plays a part. All right, keep that right leg lifted. You can bend that knee any amount. Breathe in. Big exhale. Breathing through that straw, forceful straw. Inhale. And exhale, curl on up. I lost you, I don't see you anymore. There we are. Inhale down. Curl on up on exhale. Find that contact. Hand and knee, wrist and knee, forearm and knee. Maybe getting a little breath out, hold on that exhale. And then inhale down. You can stretch that leg and arm out if you want. Exhale, curl on up. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Good, place the foot down, place the arm down. Breathe. Check in. Roll over onto your forearms. Last little bit before we finish up. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do a sphinx here. Sphinx into forearm plank. You're gonna have your forearms on the ground, elbows underneath your shoulders, toes tucked under if that's possible for you. And everything's gonna stay down, but eventually we'll lift the ribs off the floor here. So there'll be a lift, and then there'll be a lift of the pelvis too, if you can access that today. All right, but let's start in this sphinx. So it's, you can think of a little bit of a stretch through the front chest. Toes are under if you can do that. Good, breathe in. And then as you exhale, see if you can lift those low ribs off the mat, trying to lift that upper belly off the mat. All of our bodies are different. So, aiming for what you've got, breathing in. Exhale, breathe out through the straw and see if you can lift the pelvis. Maybe it's just intention, or maybe it actually lifts. Good, pause there. So you've got the belly lifted, you've got the pelvis lifted. Think about a tail tuck. Yeah, it's like you're curling the tail towards the heels. In this forearm plank position, you're breathing, big exhales through a straw if you're doing that. All the way to empty, yes. Maybe holding breath out. Then an inhale comes and you go again, exhale all the way out. Tail tucks. If you want, you can think about dragging the elbows towards the knees, right? So if doing those in a few classes ago, maybe session 3, we did some sliding on the forearms, yeah? If you felt that in the low back a lot, here's your chance to practice curling tailbone and pulling elbows to knees. This is a great practice before the forearm sliders or as an additional. 2 more breaths here. I know there's shaking happening or mental stuff going on. Tail tucks, pelvis is lifted. Again, gravity is a nasty one. Pull the elbows towards the knees, looking towards the hands, puffing up the rib cage through the shoulder blades. And slowly release down, pelvis, belly, hand stack underneath the forehead, crocodile rest. And that's it for today. We're going to stretch. You're going to bring your right arm out wide to your right. Bend the right knee. You can do whatever you want with your left arm. Maybe bring it, reach it out forward. Have the left arm underneath the ear. Push down through your right hand and start to swing that right foot back behind you towards the floor. Yeah, so you're in a twist here. Bring that right foot back towards the green. Yeah, the green thing. Okay, yeah, exactly. Great. And you can hang out here for a moment. Maybe change positions a bit, kind of rock the pelvis forward back. Maybe roll onto your back a bit. And then roll onto your side again. You can stretch that right arm around. Almost like you're rolling around in bed on a leisurely morning, even if you don't have a leisurely morning anymore because you have little ones or kittens that wake up at 6:30 or 5:30 or 4:30, you can take your leisurely moment here. Good, maybe one more breath on this side. And then roll onto your abdomen again, a moment of check-in with the hands stacked underneath the forehead. Take the left arm out wide to the left. Maybe bring that right arm underneath the, or next to the right ear, reaching that right hand forward. Bend the left knee, left sole of the foot towards the ceiling. And then you can swing that leg back behind you, rolling, twisting, expressing your body in a multitude of shapes if you choose. Or if you'd rather stay still, you can stay still and breathe. Sometimes it changes from side to side what your body needs. So being able to listen to that and respond. Without layering on an expectation. Good. And you can make your way back onto your abdomen. And for those of you that are with me live today, I want to be mindful of your time. So it is 1:01. So if you have to go, feel free to go. I will guide for another 2 or 3 minutes for a relaxation if you'd like to stay, or you can always do the replay later. I will have, yeah, I'll announce the same stuff that I announced in the beginning of class. So after Shavasana. Okay, so finding a position for your rest. You could be on your back. Or you could be seated. Getting yourself comfortable. And we'll do a full body scan today. We'll start by scanning the exhale. You don't have to do anything to the exhale. You're going to notice that you are breathing out. And then notice down by the feet. Notice any sensation or contact, texture around the feet, the ankles. Perhaps the feeling of the floor underneath the backs of the heels. Notice the back sides of the legs. Any contact between the legs and what's underneath you. Just imagining as if the back of the body, the entire back of the body, has been dipped in paint, and you're laying down or in whatever position you're in. You're noticing what that body print might look like, that outline of contact between support and the relaxing body. So notice what that shape might be like from hips to heels, hips to feet. And then notice through the back of the trunk, back of the rib cage, backs of the arms and shoulders. All the way down through the elbows, lower arms, and the hands. Whatever they're contacted on, noticing that shape, that print. And then travel towards the back of the head, noticing there. And letting your entire body sink a bit into that print. Noticing what it's like to be supported by something underneath you. The upside of gravity. And zooming out a bit now with your awareness to notice your self as a whole. Any sensation or mood that might be present for you. And letting your intention filter back in one more time. You're welcome to stay here and continue resting as long as you'd like. Or you can make your way on up towards a seated position. We'll take a moment for gratitude. You can bring your hands towards your chest, a slight bow of your head if you're seated, and notice what you might feel grateful for. And thank you all for joining, not only today, but any of the times that you did either live or during the recordings or just energetically or through email. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here with you, and I have in the works the next series, which will be for tight shoulders. So if you have tension or crankiness in the shoulders or the neck or the upper back, then we'll be attending to that for the next series. The dates are TBD. I'm thinking it's going to be through August. And I'm deciding on a day. So right now it's between a Sunday morning or a Wednesday midday time around 1 p.m. or so. So if you have a preference on those two dates, then let me know, because I'm going to attend to the largest percentage of people that want a certain date. So if you want a Sunday morning, let me know. If you want a Wednesday midday, let me know. And then last thing, so that I can get some feedback from you all about this process, the series, and the logistics of everything, it would be so great if you could fill out a short survey that I will email to you. And if you'd like to write a testimonial for my business, for my classes, you're welcome to write something. You can email it to me, and that would be super helpful so that other people can know what this is like and if they would benefit from it or find it useful for themselves or their family or friends. So thank you again. It's been a pleasure to be here with you, and I look forward to interacting with you at some point in the future. And feel free to reach out at any point. I'm here via email or social media, more so in email, but you know, sometimes it takes me a couple of days to get back to you, but I will. And take care of yourself, stay cool, and I'll see you soon.